Good morning, Arizona. Lisa, nice to see you twice in one day. So Lisa's in our coaching program. So I appreciate you coming back and sharing more time with us. So look, we're a few weeks into this. I want to hear what's been most impactful for all of you. Drop it in the chat, unmute yourself, and we'll get started. We have a fun session today, and everyone's favorite topic is how the heck do I use AI in my business? So we'll have some AI, some live AI demos. So what have you all found most impactful so far? Don't be shy and all rush up at once, please. Well, I know you're not just here to listen to me. I'm not that interesting. So, all right, I'm going to sit here in silence and I'm not going to do anything till you all speak.
I'm just logging in. What was the question?
What have you found most impactful over the last few weeks?
Does 60-hour work weeks count?
No, my goal is to get that 60 hours down. Thank you, Vincent. Learning more about applying the platform, how to talk to clients, becoming familiar with Compass One. Here it is, learning the system and fully integrating my pipeline into Business Tracker. My experience. Stumbling through this together, hearing everyone's questions. Now that's honest. I like that. Monica, share your aha moment, because we were talking before this and it was really interesting what she actually had told me.
Well, I'll say two things. So the first thing was specifically for last week. So our Zoom last week, as I was paying attention to everything you were saying, what I had told Chirag was whether you use the three-phase marketing in the platform or not, the aha was the learnings from last week, specifically pre-marketing a high-value asset. What he taught last week, of course, it's valuable if you plug into the tools and resources of the platform, but that was so high level that you could or could not use it. I would highly recommend it because it's only going to help you save time and get the value, but the insights is not just the platform, it's our mindset, it's our business development. And then of course, using the platform is going to give you firepower with that. So that's just my thought on last week. But to answer your question also, Chirag, I'm starting to see on the back end, the agents that are inputting private exclusives, agents that are starting to put in things and then receiving the benefits of reverse prospecting and all of these other things together. So that's been my most proud thing that's happening, is agents now connecting with each other, benefiting from participating on the platform. So that's a different thing, but I'm so excited about that.
Look, my goal is not only to give you like the tactical information that's supplemented by your workshops, it's to open your mind, right? So let me just walk you through this really quickly. There's a golden triangle, I believe, in our philosophy in coaching. It's mindset, performance, tactics. Now, mindset is not the secret, like I'm going to make $1 million and make $1 million. It's not any of this woo-woo stuff, right? In business, mindset is the ability to think about something differently than you presently do today. Because your brain is wired for two primary needs, certainty and comfort. So anything new you want to do is uncertain and uncomfortable. And that brings us to performance and our company tagline, unlocking your promise. I believe everyone has promise inside of them that needs to be unlocked. Now, how do we do that? It's time blocking, tackling, and being committed to this concept of activity over outcome. So when you're learning something new and you block 30 minutes in your calendar to do it, there is no outcome. Right? Because one, we don't know if we can reach the outcome. Two, we haven't done it long enough to actually measure something that's quantifiable. And number three, we want it to feel good. So feel certain and comfortable to go back to. So just say, I'm going to work on Compass One for 30 minutes. I'm going to role play for 30 minutes. Do not attach yourself. And then all of these tactics will make sense, right? But if you focus on the tactics and you don't change your mindset, you don't use your calendar, you can have all the tactics in the world. That's why there are people that are lifetime learners and zero-time earners, I call them, right? Lifetime learners, zero-time earners, just don't do anything. They think that just showing up, it's like signing up for a gym membership and that you're going to get something marvelous out of it. Even if you work out, you know, you need to diet and eat healthy to optimize it, right? So if you're showing up to the trainings, that's like getting the gym membership, right? putting in the reps is like doing the workout, right? Then practicing and using it with your clients is the dieting aspect of it. So let's get into private exclusives. This today, I'm going to warn you, is going to spill a little bit over because I want to make sure to really dive into the AI demos with you guys. Look, guys, there's 7,300 private exclusives and counting, right? This is a national initiative like no one has ever seen. You know, as Grant Cardone said, if you don't have any haters, you're not doing anything great, right? So the amount of people that have put a spotlight on this is crazy. And look, does anyone want to know why that's the case? It's the only company in the world that has more than 20% market share in the majority of the top 20 metro markets in the country. So if every agent in any of these metro markets put all of their listings on private exclusive, you could easily say you're missing out on 20% of the market or more if you're not on compass.com. Think about some of these areas that you guys monopolize market share. Huge competitive advantage, right? Now, look, we know that the real benefits of this is just to earn more commissions, win our listings, create a better client experience, right? Like I really want to drill down on that. It's called three-phase marketing. Do you know what we don't spend enough time talking about? Marketing. Do you know what the greatest gift that you have here is? All of that data that Sean and the team has pulled on all of the other agents in this marketplace. Nobody in America has that. Right? You guys have a Brokermetrics account. Agents cannot buy Brokermetrics account. So your ability to move fast with this information, and we show you how to use AI, it will blow your mind away. And it's ultimately to stand out in your marketplace, right? When you can offer, there's a saying like, what makes somebody an expert over somebody else? Knowing one more thing. What makes you an expert over another agent? Being able to do one more thing, right? So look, I think this is beating a dead horse, but I'll just go through it one last time. Look, what is private exclusive? It's a strategic marketing campaign to gather feedback and insights and momentum exclusively with our Compass colleagues, right? Now, here's the thing. Words without actions are just mispromises, right? Words without actions are just mispromises. So we need to really market these in a thoughtful way that's impactful for our clients, right? How many people have met somebody that wants to egregiously overprice their property? Everyone's hand should just go up. How many people know that no matter what you do and how much data you present or what you say, they never agree to it in the moment? It's a process, not an event, right? And that's one of the biggest benefits of three-phase marketing when you understand how this works, right? So we've talked about the marketing advantage. We've talked about the privacy. Look, some people just want to sell their home private, right? So selling off-market properties and being able to market them to agents is a real skill, right? Now, how Zillow defines public marketing doesn't matter if they never want to go on the MLS, right? And again, consumers want to find a home. They don't want to find a portal, right? So look, this allows us to really flex our marketing muscle. This allows us to flex our network muscle. This allows us to flex our collaboration, our market share. It allows us to give concierge level support, right? Like during this private exclusive phase, if I were all of you, I would over communicate with my clients where they thought like they just hired, let's see, they just hired Hermes to do their launch, right? Think about how some of these other brands launch products, and we'll show you in ChatGPT later how to take your marketing launch and make it like Hermes, make it like Gucci, make it like Maserati, make it like Tesla, make it like Google, all in one prompt, right? So here's what we need to do. We need to leverage our relationships, right? We need to tweak the presentation of our properties. How many people resist just decluttering their home? You have people like this? Well, here's a little trick. You could ask them, how do you think most people look at your home? And they're going to say, is it on a computer, a cell phone, a tablet? Don't say the cell phone first. They're going to say, oh, it's on the cell phone. You're going to say, great. So in this cluttered room, Heather and Neil, what do you think people like? What really stands out in this room? What do you want people to see? They're going to go ahead and they're going to tell you what they want. So then I used to take my picture out. This is one of my little tricks as an agent. I would take the picture and then I would show it to them on a phone, be like, if this is what you want them to see, does this picture accurately communicate your goals of this room. And they're going to say, oh, no, it doesn't, because there's so much stuff there, right? So look, one of the things in our sales methodology is getting people to the conclusion on their own, right? Timing. Now, if you're focused on timing, tools, and technology, you're finding the right buyers, right? People want to buy things. How many people work in markets where there are multiple offers? It still exists today. So people will pay more for something that's not available to everyone. Now, here's my favorite part. What you can do with AI. You can train AI on your listing. You can create compelling stories through AI, right? People buy experience and stories. If you talk to any buyer, there's 2 to 4 experiences they want in a home. You want to get away from sending emails like new home on 123 Main Street in this neighborhood, 4-bed, 4-bath home, 500. Like, people don't care, right? We want to share with both consumers and agents those experiences and storytelling and what the best brands do. I'll show you how to mirror brand launches in the end, and we'll show you even how to virtually stage properties, right? So this will be at the tail end of this. Now, let's talk about a private exclusive launch plan, right? We need a plan. Write these words down: planned and purposeful, right? Everything we do in life has to be planned and have a purpose. And that purpose brings us through the 3-step framework. What is the purpose of your private exclusive? What is the outcome you're looking to get as a result of it? And what is the natural next step, right? The purpose is to build up interest, gather valuable feedback, right? The outcome is that you have feedback and momentum. And the next step is you take all that information into the Compass Coming Soon phase. And these are the things that we want to align our clients on. The first thing is, for the love of God, do you see this? This does not help anybody, right? By the way, do we feel that as a team, our strength is the work that we're all doing in the market together? Yes or no? Everyone nod their head yes. So when I go and I bring Rhonda and Monica onto a collection and their private exclusives in there and they look like this, does this really make us look like luxury marketers? No. If you're going to invest the time into doing this, invest into real photography. Get a good shot, right? Now, even with AI, you could take a picture and edit the picture inside of AI with a $20 ChatGPT description. It is mind-blowing, right? So if you're looking at this, why wouldn't you want to get videos produced? Why wouldn't you want to get photography produced, right? Once they sign that exclusive agreement, start investing, right? And now you don't need to get a whole entire house, depending on price point, align your budget, but you might want to get a couple of those key experiences that people have in a house, right? That gets people excited through your marketing. Now, we'll want to use AI to generate property descriptions. After today, I never want any human here ever again to take the time to write a property description. Anyone besides me ever spend an obscene amount of time trying to write a property description, no matter how many times you've read it, you still think it sucks? You want to know why? We're salespeople. We're not creative copywriters. But the best part about AI, it has almost 150 IQ in every job field in the world. And the secret to all this is the prompts, right? What you put in is what you get out, and we're going to give you the prompts. Now, look at this. I don't know whose listing this is, but it is Crossroads. Oh, this is a different listing in Arizona. It's an MLS listing. Look at this picture here. And now look at this picture here. One is virtually staged. This was made through ChatGPT. This cost $0 and took about 5 minutes. Pretty incredible, right? Now think about this. A lot of leveraging AI is just using it. Who here has a vacant listing? Anybody? Perfect. Now, here's my suggestion. I would collaborate with your team and I would get a group of people to go through there. And do you know what we're all going to do? We're all going to take our phones out. We're all going to get the $20 ChatGPT subscription. We're all going to take pictures and we're all going to mess around with prompts in there to figure out how to take a picture of a room and then virtually stage it or redo it based on a renovation. So you could take a room that's a dated kitchen and say, I would like you to change this room into a black and white kitchen with these kinds of tile floors, the tile in a herringbone pattern, do not change a layout, a window location, and eventually you'll start to get your own level of prompts, right? And the cool thing about a thread is once you've figured it out through prompts, every time you put a picture in, they'll automatically do what you want. Like it learns and it knows and it remembers, right? Will this work with buyers? Absolutely. Will this work with sellers? Absolutely. Do you know when you take this out and you do this on a showing, because we have some clients doing it, buyers' minds are blown. Before you need to hire an interior designer, a stager, a person, you don't need any of this stuff anymore. Now, pull agent emails from like, we don't have the network tool or the bulk messages, but you have something better, right? The network tool and some of these things that we're sharing here will come to your region over the course of, I would believe, like the rest of the year. But Sean, where's Sean Zimmerman? Sean, you here? Maybe Sean's not here. Stephanie, you here? Going once, going twice. All right, I will be Sean. They have pulled all of the data of brokers who have sold in specific price point areas and neighborhoods that you can now pull. We are currently experiencing technical difficulties. Thank you for your patience and welcome back to your featured presentation. So look, you make your own email template with colleagues, right? But this is a really good way to start inviting people into the home. Now, neighborhood launches and neighborhood nooks. So they're using this currently in Miami. And what they're doing is they're finding homes that are in neighborhoods and putting 5 to 7 agents that work in that area. And they all go to all the private exclusives together, right? This is something that you guys can organize and do as well, right? So think about this. The greatest gift we have is each other. Now, do you know why testimonials were created? Anybody? Testimonials were created to overcome the objection that somebody has to a product or service, right? So that's why when you watch infomercials and you hate working out at home and they show you a home gym, you're like, oh, maybe I could do that because 3 other people said that. Same exact concept works for pricing, condition, and all of the other things that you want to influence your clients with, right? So bringing brokers through there is a great way to do it. Mastermind event. Now, if you have an amazing listing and you have a great business, look, a lot of this just takes initiative, right? So what I encourage you to do is get a group of agents and have a meeting at that place, right? Create an agent mastermind that you can host in the listing, get a sponsor for some food and some drinks and turn it into something more than just, an agent only happy hour, right? So you can spend several hours, you can create a tour, but this is starting to be creative and this is what other people are doing in other markets. Sales meetings, right? Like you all have a sales meeting, promote it in your sales meeting. Now, do you guys have a local WhatsApp group in the office yet? Monica? Pat, Patricia? Yes?
We have Humble. You mean like an internal communication?
Yeah,
Humble.
like a text
Yes.
group?
Yep. The app. Yeah, Humble.
So make sure that you promote it inside of here, right? Like this is an actual example from somebody, just goes my 3rd transaction of the last 12 months from this chat totaling $22 million in business, right? That's an actual agent from another market, right? So if we're not using the resources we have to more thoughtfully collaborate, we're missing the mark. Now, here are the different types of events you could do, right? You can get a lifestyle photographer, a happy hour experience, an event videographer, strategic partnerships, right? Be creative in what you're doing, right? Every agent wants lifestyle photos for their social media, so just invite a photographer there, right? You're going to have to invest time, money, and resources. I'll send you an email template that you could send your vendors that almost guilts them into sponsoring you. It's very hard to say no, especially if you're sending them a lot of business. But this is where you're going to want to turn this into more than, hey, can you come to my private exclusive today, Chirag? No, it's about creating experiences, right? And this is what our clients are going to talk about, right? I always say, create the conversation that you want people to have when you're not there, right? I want them to say, you know what, Monica, she was an amazing agent. Her and Sean had this amazing party. They brought in a photographer. It was a happy hour. Like 30 of their colleagues came. As a result, we had 30 different opinions on our house that we were able to discuss with them before we ever went to the market. Because look, the whole point of like 3-phase marketing is not to sell the listing in phase 1 and phase 2. Right? Unless that's what your client wants, right? You always want to leave the door open if somebody has a client and you use these exact words to drive up the price. I'm not 100% sure that my client wants to go on the market, but I'm happy to present your offer. And in that person's mind, psychological safety says, I better offer more, right? You don't know, but this allows the client to be in the driver's seat. And now what I would be doing if I were all of you, I would create these amazing events. I would create like a 60-second video that I could send clients as part of my listing presentation. I could post it on social media, right? A lot of this is understanding, thinking like, I'm doing this today, but how do I get the most juice out of the squeeze, right? Does that make sense to everybody? We are forever in this business doing things as silos because we do it fast and we don't have a purpose and we don't have a plan. What I want all of you to do is use these incredible experiences, the incredible time that you're putting into this, the investment monetarily, and start building yourself to future-proof your business like we talked about. Because if I went to Monica and Sean and they had amazing reels and they had parties and they partnered with 20 other agents and you guys just made a commitment that says, no matter who it's a private exclusive, we're committed to going to every single one of these listings, filling out great and detailed feedback so we could all grow our businesses together. That's another level, right? Anyone can offer a private exclusive, but if you offer a private exclusive and nobody shows up, you look really bad, right? So here are the things that you can collect feedback on, right? Price, condition, the finishes. Should they stage the house? Should they declutter the house? Remember, every single thing that you want feedback on are the things that the client can control, right? They can control the price of their home. They can control the condition of their home. They can control the accessibility of their home, and they can control the terms in which they offer, right? These are all the things that you can control as a seller. So that's what we want to focus feedback on. And the goal of feedback is to make the necessary adjustments before opening it up to a broader market. Purpose, outcome, next step, right? Before you ever talk about feedback, you have to go through these 3 steps. If you skip these 3 steps, you ever get a bunch of feedback for your client, share it with them, and then make suggestions based on it, and they start fighting with you back and forth? Am I the only one? All the time, right? They say in partnership, when's the best time to split $1 when there isn't $1, right? So there's a saying, you measure what matters, right? And in this concept, they want to have an aspirational price. But you know what? Let's start off with a private exclusive. I'm going to throw a private exclusive event. I'm going to get 10 to 30 of my colleagues, and let's get actual feedback on the price and write this down, and the positioning of the home on the market, right? So instead of price, you're going to say, let's test the positioning of the home on the market in a private controlled environment. And if we have to make any adjustments, we'll do before launching for a second time to a broader audience, right? So you're going to talk about, here's the purpose of the feedback, here's the outcome, and here's the next step. Make sense? Do this in advance, right? We don't want to just give you more stuff. We want to give you an actual process to follow, right? You generate feedback in a Google form. Your team has been great about creating everything you need. So we can create, Monica, one Google form that has like 5 questions. It's a copy doc that anyone can share. All right. So without further ado, who wants to drop a listing in here for a ChatGPT actual demo?
Chirag, real quick, Lindsay had asked a question in the chat about houses that are not, you know, bright, shiny, beautifully remodeled, more average, maybe dated, and those types of events might not work there. What other things would you recommend?
Well, here's the thing. In real estate, there's one thing I know. If you give food and you provide alcohol, people will come, right? You know, that's a saying, it's not where you are, it's who you're with. And look, if I'm all of you, I'm going to find 9 to 10 other people and I'm going to get into these small groups, right? We can use a listing that's already listed. That's fine. We're going to want to get into groups and like, it's like the buddy system, right? Like we want people that are going to go, we'll go to their events, you'll go to our events, right? This is a collaborative approach. It helps everyone, right? Like rising tide raises all ships. It doesn't matter what the listing looks at. If I want lifestyle photos or if I want like a 30-second social media video where the photographer sets up like a clean white or black backdrop and you could say, here's who I am, what market I work in, you got to be creative. These houses don't have to be selling Sunset, but here's the thing, whether it's selling Sunset or just a starter home that's dated that needs help, people are buying these homes, right? Like it's not everyone has the privilege of starting at a great home, right? Sell the community, sell the lifestyle, sell the experiences outside of the home that makes it a great location. Okay, so let's go to this first listing here.
I'm gonna piggyback, Lindsay, because I saw the question as well. And I get this a lot from a lot of our agents who say, listen, private exclusives isn't my market at $700,000 in Peoria, right? It's a 2015 build in a subdivision, and hasn't been remodeled in 8 years, and it needs some paint, etc. So what I believe a benefit is, and it does take some, of course, work from all of us, and it goes back to collaborating with each other, would be, hey, client, what I want to do is I want to take this home privately and exclusively to my group of agents. I'm going to get 5 to 8 or 5 to 10 of those agents through this home in the next 7 days prior to us officially going out of the market. And we're going to get feedback on both our price, the look, and get suggestions for what we might do to enhance the home and its value in order to get the most money for your home prior to going live in the MLS. And then I think that allows us to bring in something like Compass Concierge as an opportunity to then, create an opportunity to build more value to their home by painting it and doing new carpet. And at a minimum, if they say no to all those things, I think it still separates us from the market and provides more value than they have for the average listing agent who's just coming in and saying, we're going to put it on MLS for you. So I hope that helps a little bit as Chirag's pulling up the listing there.
All right, before we go into this, everyone cool to stay on an extra like 10, 15 minutes for the AI demo? Good. All right, cool. So here's the thing. I want to address this one question for Jen Smith. And I love these questions because what she's thinking, everyone else is thinking too. She just has the courage to ask. How do you use this if someone wants to go on the market ASAP after they get their photos? Great question, right? So the first thing is, I never when I got my license, since I was 23 years old, I was very naive, but I'm very pragmatic. So people used to tell me I have to get my house on the market on this day. And me being naive, I'm like, oh my God, is something bad going to happen if your home doesn't go on the market this Saturday? What's the negative consequence, right? So this is the actual conversation you have. So you want to get your house on the market right away. Yes. Is the goal on getting your home on the market to maximize your equity? Yes. Is this the most valuable asset you have? Yes. Got it. Now, here's my question. What is the negative consequence if your home isn't on the market this Saturday, right? And a lot of these questions sometimes are in vacant homes or people that just want to get out. They're like, well, I'm paying for the mortgage every day, or I just want to get it on. Is part of it just kind of moving on where you don't have to eat those costs every day? And they're going to say yes. And you say, perfect. I'm going to say, look, I'm going to give you a couple options, and whatever you decide to do, I support you 100%. So if you always start a conversation off by giving them options, and whatever you do, you support them 100%, all the sales resistance gone, right? You're going to say, look, this will take us 2 weeks to do. So let's look at your mortgage. Let's cut it in half. It's this much money. Now you go through this again. Here's the purpose of a Compass 3-phase launch. Here's the outcome, and here's the next step. You walk them through this, right? And then you're going to say, look, we're looking at potentially saving $2,000, right? In waiting, in going on the market right away. I would save a lot of extra work right? And not in these three things. But let's think about it this way. If the goal for you is to maximize your equity, is saving $2,000 or going through these three phases, you think can net you the result that you want. 9 out of 10 times that people go three-phase marketing, if you explain it clearly. Part of the reason that they don't want to wait is because they don't see the value and they don't understand, right? The whole perceived value, actualized value, visuals, the words you use, as well as the action that they understand. All right, so let's go into this AI demo. This is always a lot of fun. All right. So the first thing is you're going to put your listing link in here, right? And you're going to write this: need you to learn everything about this home, the surrounding areas, and the community to complete your next task. Whose listing is this? Unmute themselves, please.
It's mine, Joni.
Hey, Joni. All right, cool.
Wait,
So
are you
look,
on-
here's the thing about
You're on Foothill, right? Yeah, okay.
All right, so here's the thing. Now, the first thing is, whatever the heck it says the first time, it doesn't even matter. I don't even read this. It's never going to get it right because we want something different. This is what average people do, and we're all above average, right? So look, it highlights some interiors, the exterior features, and everything else. It talks a little bit about it. It pulled their tour, great. Now, here's the thing. Now, ask me 5 questions, one by one, so you can understand the unique benefits and experiences a buyer can have in this home so you can complete your next task. Now, we're telling it, understand the benefits and experiences so you can complete your next task. If you're not really clear with this, its job is to think ahead on based on what it knows, right? So now, if you just write questions, it'll all come out at once. It's really overwhelming. When someone's walked through the front door, what do you want them to feel and what specific parts of the home evoke that feel? Lindsay.
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a family home, very homey, very well appointed with upgrades and family friendly.
So what do you want somebody to feel when you walk into it? Like, what does somebody feel like when you walk in the home? Is there like a good feeling? Like, what does it feel like?
I believe, yeah, I think it's a really good family feel. It's very like I said, it's well appointed. It's an open feel. Everything's like right there.
Perfect. Ready? When you walk in, you feel the open space and you are at home, right?
Mhm.
The open floor plan invokes that feeling. Great. What kind of lifestyle does this home support or elevate?
It's located in a super good subdivision with lots of shopping and dining. It's close to Lake Pleasant. Lots going on in that area. It's a pretty highly desired area for Peoria.
What about entertaining? Is it good for
A
entertaining?
lot of entertainment, shopping.
Inside the home.
Oh, inside the home, there's a huge loft upstairs that's good for, watching, full screen movies and all that kind of stuff. The backyard is a freaking oasis. There's a huge barbecue, built-in kitchen. They have a, what do you call it? A pergola out there with a sit-up bar and everything. So it's a nice entertaining area.
See, what I want to highlight to all of us as we do this, right? See how hard it is even for us to communicate, like how well we know something,
Yeah.
right? So I'm just gonna put this in here and we'll keep going. Who is the ideal buyer for this home?
I would say definitely a growing family. There's workspace also built in there, so maybe somebody that works from home. Kids, it's really close to the schools. It's got an awesome community center with pickleball and pools and spas and all that kind of stuff, and really great community area.
So ready? What memories do you think? So think about this. Birthday parties and nights of friends in the backyard, enjoying a drink at sunset, being able to get to everywhere that matters easily. Always have something to do. What upgrades or design elements in the home would make a buyer feel like they're getting something truly special or luxurious compared to other options?
Pretty much everything in the kitchen's brand new, double ovens, upscale, upgrades that were done specifically for the home. And also the outdoor kitchen, which is super nice. But inside the home, yeah, there's a lot of built-ins that were put in there. That the master bedroom closet is phenomenal, and bathroom, all of that was fully upgraded.
I'm just writing house been fully updated, upscale, upgraded that were built for the home, the outdoor oasis, which offers lifestyle connection and placeable memories. Perfect. I think that's 5. Now watch this. I need you to create an email that would go out to buyers for this home that mirrors the Apple product launch. Introducing Home Reinvented. There are homes and then there are moments designed to be lived in. Welcome to the address where every square foot has been thought upgraded to create something far beyond a place to live. This isn't a 4-bed, 3.5 bath residence. It's an experience. It highlights some of the bullet points, unmatched, and then you close it out, all within the Meadows, one of Peoria's most sought after communities where pools, pickleball courts, and community life are steps from your door. This is more than a home. It's where the next chapter begins, elevated, effortless, and exactly where you belong. Now, can any of us ever write an email that sounds like this?
It's way better than
Now
what
watch
mine
that.
would.
How would Hermes market this home? An invitation to live intentionally. Some spaces are purchased, others are discovered, rare, refined, and reserved for the discerning few. Tucked within a private cul-de-sac in the Meadows, this estate offers not just residence, but ritual. An open layout designed for quiet confidence, a chef's kitchen that respects both form and function, a backyard curated with fire, water, and wood, where evenings unfold effortlessly and elegance. Like, this is what people want when they buy a house, right?
Sure.
Now write the same email utilizing world-class storytelling principles that connect the experiences a buyer could have in the home. This email is going to agents, not consumers. So adjust the messaging accordingly. You can even check for fair housing violations through here. So look at this, check for fair housing violations.
Nice.
I pulled the link, Jennifer, I typed the address and compass. So reviewed phrases, optional, the kids laughing nearby with laughter nearby, like it literally even suggests changes. Right, so now, so what do you guys like better? the Hermes or the Apple version? Put it in the chat. Apple. Apple. Okay, perfect.
So if I were doing one of the digital campaigns on the Compass platform, do you recommend utilizing AI to create the verbiage, when I'm?
100%. I would never write anything against. So open house announcements, a social media post, agent to agent email, an email to my entire database. And watch this, voila.
Can you share this with us somehow? Like, are
Yes.
you, I get the copy of this chat. This is awesome. Love it.
Everything's here. Social media post, this has it here. Come walk through, cover slide, step into your next, it even goes through here. All right, so for everybody, here's the cool part. You can hit share, you can create link, and we'll send this out in the recap, but I know everyone's gonna want this today. And look, the goal now is when utilizing this is to keep refining what you have, right? This thing will remember what you said, what you like, what you didn't like, right? So actually here, let me show you. Let me show you one more thing that I would suggest doing. Build me a table with the top luxury brands that do pre-bidding and the benefits of mirroring each brand and what I would get using the same formula for my real estate listings. Watch this.
Jeez.
So now you can say, I want to utilize the scarcity and private preview of Hermes and the flawless storytelling of Apple, and you could start combining these things, right? Mind blown. And here's the crazy part. I just showed you how to do all this in like 12 minutes. Right. So like for Lisa, who's in our coaching program over the summer for our clients, we're going to be doing like a 3-part AI series where the first one is how to train your ChatGPT to sound like you, to think like you, to know your clients, to avoid all the words that make it sound AI. The second one is marketing in depth, like building your video scripts, templates, every email, setting up tasks so it does the research for you. And the third session is my favorite. There is now a way that you can make endless video content that looks like you, that sounds like you, and you never have to be on camera. And it's like a fraction of the cost. So it's like, look, my message to you is go all in on this. It does not require any specific skills. My children are 9 and 11, and even when they get hurt now, they take pictures and they use it themselves. And like, I don't need to go to urgent care. Yep. So the only way to get good at this is to just keep using it. So when you're sitting in your car and you're waiting for a client and your inkling is to click like Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube, or your email button, which is an organized system for everyone else's agenda, what I encourage you all to do is click your ChatGPT and just start typing in random things, the most random things you could talk about. Now, I'll show you guys one other thing, which is really cool, which will just make your life better. If you go into your ChatGPT, right, there's like this little microphone, this little sound thing here. you can click this button and you can talk to it, right? So if you're driving in the car, you have ideas or notes that you want documented, you could do and go back to it. But here's the amazing thing. There's actually a camera, right? What am I looking at right here?
It looks like you're showing a Zoom meeting on your laptop screen. There are multiple participants in the meeting, and the camera is capturing your workspace, including a water bottle and some notes in the background. Are you trying to demonstrate something specific about the setup?
To demonstrate how your video feature works for a group of real estate agents. So how would you tell them to best utilize this video feature when they're out showing properties to their clients?
Absolutely. I'd suggest telling them to use the video feature to give live virtual tours, highlight unique property features, and answer client questions in real time. It's a great way to keep remote clients engaged and make them feel like they're
Anyway, you can actually go to this and say, how old is this boiler? What color is this floor? Like it's mind blowing, right? So this is kind of where we are today. It's some fun things for you to play with. You could go to a recipe and take a picture and say, explain this so a third grader can understand. So those recipes your kids bring home that you have to make that make no sense, even for an adult, like it's so easy to do. So look, we're just touching the surface of this, but for us as a company, we're integrating this into everything that we do. So I'm going to share this link one more time as it has this table and everything in here. We will send this to you so you guys will have all the prompts and everything else in here. I can stay on if anyone has any questions. I added some extra time in my schedule because you could see out of the 83 people that came, 76 of you are all still here because this is really interesting and mind-changing stuff. And think about how many hours in a year you're going to save by never having to write a property description again. Remember, you have to give it the right context, right? So have it put what you want it to do, have it learn your stuff, right? From there, say, ask me questions one by one so you can understand, so it builds an understanding. Then the next thing is you start telling it what to do. Anyone have any questions? Who's going to go play with this today? And for the love of God, please just spend the $20. If you can afford to go out to buy lunch one time in a month in your life, you can afford this. It's the best investment you have. There's nothing that you can ever invest $20 a month in that can ever give you such a great ROI. All right, so here, hold on. Adding pictures. So anyone just give me so if you want to add pictures or documents, you can click here. And you can go add from photos and files. So let's see. Here we go. We just put a photo in. And just remember, it's not always perfect what it gives you, but you just keep prompting it. Just hit this plus button. You could upload PDFs and tell it to learn PDFs. I wish I had the Jeopardy music right now. All right, let's see what we got. Here it comes. Alexis, that's amazing. Think about how much time that takes.
Oh my gosh.
Right, so you can mess around with this, right? So you could say here's an amazing here's a good thing. You did a bad job and changed the windows and the actual room. The goal is to portray what the actual image would look like with high-end furniture and not empty. I can't spell, guys, if you haven't figured that out yet. I could spend an entire day with you doing this. There's just so many amazing things. Just use your imagination. That is my biggest takeaway for all of you. To get the idea, it still doesn't get the actual image. So I can show you here, hold on. This was another one we did. This was really cool. We put in a prompt here, like I need you to research where US buyers are coming to, most to Miami, that I could market my listings, the zip codes. This is really cool if you have buyers. So there's another button here that says research, right? So you can hit research here. So I'll show you in a different thing. So this actually did all the research down to the zip codes and everything. So you could actually turn this into a report on here's how I use Compass ads and insights to leverage marketing around the entire country to find out-of-state buyers. Right. So if I scroll back up here, where's my picture? Look at this to this, right? Here's the empty room here. And here is a stage photo here. So for all of you wondering about the research, if I click here, there's a button that says tools. It says run deep research. You can type in where are buyers moving to from other states to Arizona, and it'll literally give you zip codes and everything. And then you're going to say, turn this into a report that I can share with my clients that make me look like I'm a marketing expert, and you can do it. So, all right, I can go on and on and on and on and on and on. So thank you all for your patience, your time, your partnership. And ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of our featured presentation. With love in my heart, I love you all. If you're going to be at the Compass Retreat, we have two amazing sessions, or one amazing session we're doing twice. So come by, check us out. I'd love to meet you all in person, and share your wins with your team, share them with us. It's really exciting to hear people that are able to get more time back into their day. Bye, everybody.